Hey, it's the 25th of February and we are flying. Yes, the market is on its way to 7,000. Here's Buckworth.
That number. We've been talking about it for a while. We're back at it again. Today may well be the day. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm feeling energized, feeling happy with the book, feeling there's lots of interesting situations going on. And yesterday was quite intense in terms of the stuff we had to get through. Some of it was in fantasy land. Today, perhaps we can get back to some.
What's got you so energized?
I don't know. Just quite excited about a few of the positions and a few of the things going on out there, right? I mean, today's.
It's not the weather.
It's been a tough time. No, or the energy of the weather's. It's been nicer. It's
the feeling of spring
just
is
that little
in
bit,
the air. I worry because I've gone bullish now. I am officially bullish.
Terrifying.
S&P 500. It doesn't happen very often, but I have attached some risk, let's say.
Yeah.
But it might be simply because last night I went for a haircut.
Okay.
So we got the new look.
It looks identical.
Streamline. But you know what he did?
What?
He said at the end, it was one of these, it wasn't not a fancy place, like a proper barber's. He said at the end, oh, do you want me to singe the little hairs on your ears?
Oh, yeah.
Right, so he gets the fire stick
that,
out.
yeah. Yeah.
So he does each ear, he leaves it on a little bit long, burns my ear.
Yeah.
Then goes in for my face.
Yeah.
So do you see the red marks?
Oh, wow, yeah.
On my face? He's burnt me.
Christ.
He's literally burnt my face.
Did the wrist happen after that, or that was a different thing?
This one?
Yeah.
No, I'm just in the wars. Just...
Oh, dear. Anyway, right.
I get up this morning and the P&L is flying.
Yeah.
Right? You saw us down 2% yesterday, right? So we were sitting at 98 grand. We're now sitting at 102,000. So we've had a 4% turnaround in 24 hours. This leads me to feel bullish.
Yeah.
Risk back on.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a bit of a risk-on atmosphere. I mean, there's reasons for it, of course. We went through yesterday how the breadth in the market's pretty solid. The positioning is somewhat bearish. There's been a lot of overreactions in the tech space, in particular software. A lot of that was kind of calmed down a lot after the Anthropic agency event yesterday. Albeit, I think we should probably touch on that at some point during the show because there's quite nuanced sort of outcomes from that. But nonetheless, it was less draconian than the market had expected, and it's all about expectations, and therefore that's calmed things down. And then, of course, there's a little thing called NVIDIA tonight, and the market's preparing itself for that.
What's that? Who's
just a little four-letter ticker code, and along with quite frankly, normally I wouldn't say that Salesforce is very interesting, in terms of market, in terms of moving the markets, but tonight's going to be very interesting because Mark Benioff is the guy. He's the enterprise software guy. He's the original man in this game, and what he has to say is going to be, I think, really critical. I think it's going to be critical for sentiment tonight in terms of if he follows the same vein that we heard yesterday from that Anthropic event. Some of the analysts afterwards saying that AI is going to be embedded in their software ecosystem as opposed to competing with it. Then it could be, and if we get that along with a strong NVIDIA, then we could see ourselves up 2% on the Nasdaq on top of what we've got now easily. So I think we need to keep that in mind. I'm going to reduce my QQQ hedge a bit.
right? Just gets calm.
Certainly not going to go naked into it, though. Right? I'm not rolling out of here naked.
So that's coming up. So we are going to talk about PayPal, of course. We got more news about the bid yesterday. We're going to talk about Diageo, SanDisk, and of course a preview for NVIDIA numbers. That's coming after we get the US Open live. Good afternoon to you all. We've got Keith, we got Clean Bright saying yo, Tim the Chin. Peter's on line 2 saying I've been abused by the barber. I have. It's a dodgy barber's in Putney. I was in Putney.
Wow.
At the chiropractor.
Times are tough.
And next door was a barber. So don't go to any Putney barbers.
By the way, this is a great setup, can I just say? Now that I don't have to look at my phone, I apologise to the viewers.
So we got a few moans yesterday from the producer. He says, Piers, you're looking down at the phone. You didn't even hear that Richard had bought the IBM. You didn't even know.
IGV. Yeah, that one.
And so you
No, anyway, it's good. It's this aesthetically speaking.
We're
in business. No, that's good. I like this. We've got my team. I'm feeling good. This is why I feel good.
And so what's on your screen then?
So, well, lots, man. I mean, there's probably 200 things on my screen, but I've got a focus list of what we're going to be looking at when we get to the Open. Lots of exciting things, many of which we're long. Got an upgrade from Oracle today, which is nice. But yeah, listen, the market's got it's at that moment right now where we've just taken a little bit of the pressure off, and there's, you know, the value stuff is probably just going to trundle along today, although the metals will probably start strong. But the stuff that's been hated, including some of the high beta stuff, may well have a bit of a go today. It's not going to get too aggressive,
and that is
everyone's very aware of.
Full of.
Correct, and you know, there's some really exciting opportunities. I mean, I've been banging on about it. I mean, it's particularly in the photonic space, which of course filters down from the big names of Lumentum all the way down to Illuma and Poet. You know, there's a lot of focus in this space. Yeah. But you know, the market is also very wary of what's happening tonight. So I would be shocked if we see some runaway rally before tonight. It might try. We'll see.
No, we said if Diageo with their earnings number, if they were up 10%, Piers was going to down a pint of Guinness.
What happens if it's down 10%?
What happens if it's down 10? What does he have to do? Pour one over his head? Yeah.
Well, no, when we prepared for it, let's talk about Diageo. I mean, this is a fascinating situation. I hope I made clear yesterday that I'm preparing for severe volatility, up and down. We got it down. I've got, you know, just to put in perspective, in my book, I've got, and there's no point in talking about the absolute number, but in terms of percentages, I've got a 5% position and a full position in Diageo in my book would be about 15. So plenty of room to add. In hindsight, you could argue, why did I not just take profit and avoid the risk of the earnings and then get back into it? You know,
that's what I would argue.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But I mean, it's easy to argue that after the fact. But let's deal with what Dave
did yesterday.
Let's deal with what Dave Lewis actually said to us today, right? He's got a tough gig. He said to us that the core brands, Johnny Walker, whiskey, Guinness, are struggling. We know that year-on-year sales 2% year-on-year sales decline. It's not a massive, but it's, you know, it's continues the same vein of what we've seen. Yeah. Reduce the dividend, which is quite a big thing, and that's probably why the stock's getting hammered. This is a big dividend payer, and of course that those viewers who don't understand the implications of that. If you've got a company that's a very consistent dividend payer and then they cut their dividend, or worst case scenario, take it away altogether, then income funds who own this stock have to adjust their portfolios. So you take that on top of the fact that he lowered guidance and everything else that he said. But nothing's happened today that we didn't kind of anticipate, especially with him saying that he's going to expand the product portfolio and try and pivot to growth. The way I said it on social media today was just a hard reset for this company. Mm-hmm. You know, listen to what the analysts have got to say. Bank of America, for example, you know, just essentially just saying, listen, the numbers were not a surprise, and you know, there's lots of work to be done, but this is kind of a kitchen sinking of that.
So why do they call it kitchen sink?
Well, because it's one of the most famous sayings in the human language. When you say when you're going to throw something out with the kitchen sink, in other words, throw everything out.
So that is when you're renovating a house.
When you're the
last thing that you throw out is the kitchen sink, right? Because they all look the same, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
So you've chucked everything else out. Diageo has had all this shit hit the fan for 3 years now, and what the kitchen sink is deemed to be is the very last downgrade. Usually the stock doesn't go down 10% because if people anticipate it's the last downgrade.
So this is more than a kitchen sinking. This is a cutting of the dividend, right? And you've got to put this in perspective. That changes. That means that today that I haven't touched the stock today. I was not going to buy any more today. The reason for that, if you had to boil that down to one thing, it would be because they've cut the dividend, and therefore there's income guys that are forced to sell it. And you need to take a breath and step back. So, and it's getting quite aggressive now. It's actually below the level I was going to buy some more. We'll see how I'll see how I feel, but probably just won't touch it today and wait till tomorrow, and then we have to rebuild. But this is not a stock or a story that you buy or get involved in if you're impatient and you want momentum and you want to make money tomorrow morning. Those who have been trading this along with me in my community, we made some good money off the lows. Some people took profits. That's great. This is like a 12 to 18 month recovery story. It's one position in a book of 18 positions. It's a special situation. It is there. You know, one of my community members keeps mentioning that the opportunity cost of holding a position like this versus holding a UK bank, for example. And it's a fair point, but it's also just to clarify, there's no opportunity cost for me because I've got plenty of dry powder. And this is just a special situation in which I'm willing to remain patient. So it is what it is. Plenty of other things going on today which are interesting. and they're going to hopefully make money.
Well, what is interesting, I just got a missed call
From
a chap called James Deal, who was the guy who ran Retail Book. Do you remember Retail Book?
No.
It brings IPOs in the UK to retail investors. So I'm hoping to set up an interview with him, and that was a missed call from him.
Oh, okay.
Should have answered it.
Nice, you should have. Well, yeah, that's
a break for him back. Okay, so the 3-day rule, David is asking, does the 3-day rule apply to this Diageo?
Someone asked me in that earlier on. Yeah, I mean, listen, this is an aggressive move. It's a when the day started, it's one of those things. It's the kind of, it's a bit of a nuanced answer to that, because this is not the 3-day rule. To me, applies to a stock that you want to buy, but they have a total disaster. It's usually something in the order of a 20% move down.
Okay.
Right, and there's
the day's not finished yet.
and there's no bid at all. It's very similar to what's going on with Diageo, but but the difference is this: Diageo started the day down 5%, and it's been slowly selling off throughout the day.
And America hasn't even opened yet, right? The American long funds have a crack at this, and it's 16 quid.
To the downside, quite, or they might buy it. Who knows? All I'm saying is the 3-day rule for me is an aggressive gap down to the order of about 20%, and then and more. Mm-hmm. This is kind of in the category. Listen, I'm not touching it today, and I will most definitely be applying at the very least the 48-hour rule, we'll take it from there. Listen, this rule, which of course it's not a written rule. It's a rule I picked up from a hedge fund manager many years ago who's very good. It's amazing how many times it works if you've got the patience to actually put it in place, right? It's very tempting on day 2 often to get involved. So sometimes I fall victim to that. So I buy half of the position and then the other half, right? Yeah. And a great example would be Aiden was the best example recently, right? Aiden, I bought half of it on day 2. Day 3, it went down ever so quickly and then bang up again. And then it was day 3 and then a 13% rally in a stock that got slaughtered. Right, that's a perfect, most recent example of a 3-day rule working really, really well.
There's another day rule that I follow. It is.
By the way, it's actually ripping today as well, Aidan.
It's 14 days. Now, 14 days is how long you have to wait after a shock, a major incident such as BP.
And this is a different nuance to this. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that's a proper shock. Yeah. Because they, in fact, shorting those situations, as scary as it may look, works 85% of the time.
Yeah, down 8, down 12.
Yeah, and they just keep going.
Because you get the dead cat bounce, and then the real big guys come in to sell it again. So I'm talking about when Chipotle found that they had killed somebody, basically, that had got food poisoning. As I say, Deepwater Horizon was an obvious one. And then, what was the one we talked about 10 years ago that also somebody had died after taking one of their drugs?
Oh, well, I mean, there's Sarepta Therapeutics, but no, that.
Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember what that was. Valiant. I can't remember. But, well, I mean, there's a bunch of them in this space, of course, right?
But it was exactly. But 14 days. You just got to work out whether it's 14 working days when the market's open, or if it's just 2 weeks. But it certainly stops a lot of pain anyway. Volkswagen. That was the other one. Volkswagen after their scandal with the emissions. Anyway, we have a question from Frosty. Frosty asking, is the FTSE overbought? Still cheap.
Depends what you mean by overbought. You know, technically overbought, the technical term of overbought means RSI, right? And the answer to that question is no, because it's just been hovering around doing nothing for the last few days, which means the RSI would have, or is it not? Where are we now? Okay, still creeping up.
New highs.
Just shows you how much I look at the FTSE. But yeah, listen, the FTSE this is the way I see this is 2 decades of pent up frustration and demand by professional investors who have finally got their moment in the sunshine, and they are slowly but surely ramping up their bets on this, and it's momentum now, and it is the ultimate example of global investors having too much money to put to work in a market which isn't big enough for them. So it's quite interesting, and the answer to that question is probably higher. It probably is, but it also probably is approaching overbought. I haven't looked at the RSI, And I can look at it right now.
Today, yeah, you have a look at that. I'll go through HSBC. So the reason today why FTSE going to new all-time highs is HSBC up 6% on the back of numbers. That's the stock you wanted today, not Diageo. Up 6%, and that looks beautiful. It's a breakout.
Yeah, FTSE's
is that an all-time high on HSBC? I think it may well be.
FTSE RSI 75. That's right up at the highs. So the answer to that question is technically yes, it is overbought.
Look at that. Do you remember when HSBC was like £5 and the dividend yield was astronomical?
That's having a big impact on the FTSE today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
It's a fascinating situation.
I tell you, all these tech stocks, get to know your HSBCs, your Barclays, your British Airways, your Vodafones. That's where the performance is in the last 6 months.
At the moment, yeah. Oh, yeah, it has been, yeah. Absolutely, for sure. So to answer that question, yeah.
Right, PayPal, is that
Let's talk about PayPal. That should be up about 1.7% pre-market based on what I looked at the other. Let me have a little look at this thing. God, this is so much better having this Bloomberg screen. I don't know what I was doing in my life. I've literally got the entire pre-market board here. Right, so PayPal have finally got someone to show some attention to their business, given where they're trading. You know, I can't say it's a surprise because I've been saying this for ages, and obviously, you know, recently it got even cheaper. So Stripe, who are obviously one of their direct competitors.
what they used to be called?
Stripe. Good question. Don't know.
Were they something else first? No.
So Stripe are looking at all and/or part of the business. We haven't got any formal deal or formal offer yet. Based on the news article from Bloomberg, it was a few people looking at this firm. So we'll see. But obviously, this is now breathing some life into the stock. It's like since we spoke about it last week on the show, or whenever it was after the numbers 2 weeks ago, it's about 15% higher than the low. So it's had a decent jump, 2 gap ups, and it's finally in motion. I mean, what am I going to do with this? I'm adding another clip to it on the open.
I bought some as soon as that came out yesterday. You can see my purchases here on the IG system. It is the white dots are where you have bought stock. You see on the first announcement, I bought 100 shares. Then I bought another 70 yesterday at 47.15, I think it was. Because I think whoever is going to buy this, the first bid has to be around 55, and then it goes to 58, and then it gets done at 60. So in my mind, it's a 50% chance that you get a bid at $55, and it's probably a 50% chance it goes back down to 42. So the upside downside just massively outweighs to the upside.
I agree. I totally agree. God, there's some really interesting. This market's starting to heat up this morning. Guess what's starting to heat up this morning? Crypto. Now listen, who knows what? Yeah, look at Circle Internet. Crikey. These are Circle. So Circle Internet, guys, was an IPO about 7-8 months ago. A very hot IPO came out around the same time that CoreWeave came out. CoreWeave, of course, have nothing to do with stable coins. But in terms of listed stablecoin players, Circle Internet are pretty much the hottest property in town, and they, had like a 200% rally after that, and they've obviously collapsed along with everything else. But they're up 19% pre-market, and I'm just trying to figure out whether there's any news or that's because the entire crypto space is moving. This is life-changing.
Yeah, numbers
in front of me, by the way.
Q4
yeah, there we go. Numbers. So there we go. That's interesting. And that will probably breathe a little bit of life into the space because this was a really hot name in the stablecoin story, which of course leaks over into the entire space in general. But I'm just looking at the MicroStrategy pre-market and obviously looking at all the different altcoin coins. You know, it's impossible to know when we're going to see this rally because
Strategy up at $130.
It's just creeping. But this stock is it's like a coiled spring. It's got so much short interest. Everyone, it's so smashed.
It's the Las Vegas convention. So SWC CEO Andrew Webley is there with the strategy, of course, Saylor himself.
Someone wrote yesterday, a guy from Fidelity wrote yesterday that Saylor should be in prison. I mean, he's extraordinary comment. Well, this is Fidelity, by the way. It's not some random punter.
Yeah.
Right? They went on further to say that crypto's for boomers and sailors should be in prison, was the exact comment from a fund manager at Fidelity. That's the kind of vibe that's going around, which is probably going to mark the low, I would imagine.
Well, it's that kind of...
It's that kind of stupidity and subjectivity that this market kind of loves, right? There's going to be a lot of people who didn't enjoy that comment very much.
SWC down on the day with crypto up 3%.
Which one was that? Sorry, the first one you mentioned?
So the UK Bitcoin Treasury Company. It's interesting. I have to do some work on that and see why.
It's a really interesting day. It could be risk on. I mean, the market's not going to go bananas, of course, because of the pending report tonight, but it's got a little risk on feel about it. And of course, guys, we all know that the animal spirits nothing ignites animal spirits more than a rally in crypto.
Well, no, it's not that. It's the wonderful Trump in his 107-minute speech last night, which I'm sure you stayed up to watch.
I can't. Listen. I'm one of. I can't listen to him speak. I actually, as far I quite like a lot of the stuff that he does, but I can't listen to him speak.
Guys, can we do a poll? We get a poll out there. I would like a poll to be.
What?
Who would you least like to listen to for 107 minutes?
Don't do it.
Is it Piers? Is it Donald Trump? Who's your other two options?
You. That would be the easy one.
No. I wouldn't.
Imagine listening to your voice for 107 minutes. Absolutely brutal.
Jerome Powell.
Oh my God.
Or
we're doing 4 people. Wow. When you throw yourself in there,
who else goes on long?
I don't know.
And the podcast guy. No, who's the podcast guy that does the 4-hour podcasts?
No idea.
Joe Rogan. So Joe Rogan, Donald Trump, Piers, or Jerome Powell.
Crikey. Okay, guys, come on, guys.
Who would you least like to listen to for 107 minutes?
Least likely. Okay, this was a fascinating day, isn't it? Wow. Okay, here we go. So anyway, so there's lots lined up here. Did we talk about the?
Was there anything to come from the State of the Union?
No, I mean, it's irrelevant, right? I mean, it's just Trump speaking, right? It's completely irrelevant. What do you expect him to say? It's nothing to see here. He's going to say, we killed it at the Olympics. The hockey team are amazing. The economy's never been so good. We are the best at every single thing that we do.
He obviously had a go at the Supreme Court saying that.
But he actually toned that down, by the way. That was the one thing. Actually, if there is one thing to take away that was slightly off-piste, it would be that, in my view, it would be that he walked back ever so gently his attack on the Supreme Court. That was about the only interesting thing. Aiden, what are we doing? Look at that. Go, baby, go.
Right, it is about 6 minutes until we get the open then. So let's talk about SanDisk yesterday. There was a research report. How does that affect the wider memory?
Well, I think that the SanDisk, listen, those of you who, SanDisk is just a bit of a meme stock, but it needs to be talked about within the wider context of this story, right? Which of course involves Samsung, which is one of the biggest companies in the world. So Samsung, Hynix, SK Hynix, both Korean companies, both very high quality companies, both right up there at the top of the COPSI. And then of course Micron and SanDisk, Western Digital, Seagate. That's the group. They're all having a renaissance. Samsung, of course, is a very, it's a conglomerate, so they don't, and there's all different divisions of Samsung, but the one I'm talking about now, under that umbrella, they have the foundry business, of course, which is where there's the same business as TSMC. They print chips to the specifications of other people. They have a memory business where they make memory chips, and they have consumer electronics, and they make mobile phones, right? So that's the Samsung I'm talking about. So it's not like a clean-cut SanDisk, but a big part of their business is making memory. This is now the memory game, the memory gold rush has now started, and they're all, of course, it's technology. So by definition, everyone's trying to work out how to make the next chip. And there was, if you read between the lines and you're focusing on what's going on here, they came out with a new bit of memory the other day that NVIDIA gave the nod to. Micron was down on the day in sympathy. But this is now, a market which is everyone's racing to do the next best chip. And the report yesterday essentially said, two things. It said, first of all, the elephant in the room is Samsung, because they're 10 times bigger and better than SanDisk at making memory.
Yep.
And number two is, how long is it going to be until an AI tool can print a memory chip? Which of course is wild speculation. But nonetheless, that report threw a bit of cold water on the rampant speculation that's going on. And it is getting to the point now where it's speculation not to the same degree we're seeing in silver, but but in the memory space, SanDisk has been singled out in the retail community as the one that they can just keep ramping and ramping and ramping.
I've never looked at this before. It's Samsung's GDR.
Well, look at it. Yeah, I mean, this is memory,
unreal.
And this is the big boy, right?
Yeah, the Goliath. What kind of size of market cap would that be?
Well, that one. Go to the Korean one. That's the one you want to look at.
Yeah, but more like, what...
Listen, last time I checked, and which was a while ago, because I haven't actually
it's
looked.
Probably gone up a lot since, hasn't it?
It's gone up probably 100% since I last looked.
Cap of...
So market cap 1.26 trillion Korean won. So you divide that by what's KRW is
Look at him with his new fancy toys where he can...
So I've got the Bloomberg in front of me. This is epic. Right, so 1,426. So I'm just going to do this calculation for you. So it's about 120. It's not as big. Well, yeah, so 120 or 200 billion.
Can I log into your Bloomberg? Can I have Bloomberg?
It's 36 grand a year if you want the live prices.
Yeah.
It's such a game changer being able to
Can I
look
not
at this.
just use your login?
You can if you want to.
Netflix.
If I'm not using it, yeah. But I'm using it 24/7 on that probably. So anyway, there we go. So Samsung. Listen, this whole space is interesting. It was nice yesterday for me because I've got a small short in SanDisk. I trading it. I'm just a trading unit out, and I put it back on again yesterday, and I'll probably add to it again this afternoon. God, look at this Diageo. What a mess.
2.5 minutes to the opening. What we're going to be watching now, Rory Wallace, JP Morgan's newest employee, certainly for a spring week coming up anyway. Rory, I will get back to you. I was meant to answer your question last night.
Absolutely.
Is Novo Nordisk undervalued?
Well, it's trading on 11 times forward earnings, and now that I have Bloomberg in front of me, I can tell you exactly what their revenue growth is. This is game changing. Right.
It's so boring.
It's not boring at all. It's great. So forward multiple 11.3 times, and the revenue growth, well, of course, this is the problem, right? Revenue growth has fallen off a cliff. So the answer to your question is it's undervalued if you take on a growth adjusted basis. No, it's not undervalued at all. In fact, it's pretty much where it should be. But the question is, are you going to assume that they're going to have this 2026 estimate for growth has come down to -7%? That's why the stock is trading where it's trading, because they've taken a massive top line hit. So the question is, are you assuming that they are going to stay negative growth? Obviously, the Bloomberg assumptions are that they move back to positive growth in 2027, but that doesn't account for all these other things that can potentially happen here, which is that they're going to inorganically grow the company. They've got $13 billion of free. Well, how much cash have they got? $26 billion Danish kroner in cash on the balance sheet. So there's lots of things that can happen here. So the answer to your question is, it's undervalued if you assume that they return to growth, yes.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it? Because
as it's today, on today's what's happening right here, right now, no, it's not undervalued.
And the news flow has just been terrible in the last 72 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, cutting pricing, that's...
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's awful. But quite frankly, it's that what I find interesting about this situation is, yes, but 73% of
last 5 seconds, go.
73% of Novo Nordisk's business is diabetes, right? It's not this. So
Wall Street opening on this Wednesday before Nvidia results. Let's see what is moving. It's relatively bullish opening. But what stocks are we seeing on the report? Well, it's Micron. Micron up 2.8. Oracle, there it goes, up 2. One of the stocks that we have in the portfolio to be in the top 2. And another one. We've got Netflix up 2.3%. So that's 2 out of the top 3 stocks in the S&P 500. In the big boys, at least.
I also bought DraftKings yesterday as well, which we need to take a look at.
We'll go on to that in a minute. But PayPal also up 2.5%. When is enough on?
Is it
on PayPal? Because if you get a denial, obviously it's going to drop like a stone.
There we go. Kind of. I mean, listen. My plan is to run this today to 50, take some profits.
Okay, so 50, take profits at 50.
And by the way, I've missed my opportunity to buy this clip, so I'm waiting now. I was going to buy a clip on the Open. I was hoping it was going to come off. It may still do. Listen, it's the Open. It's the US Open, guys. So
tell you what, this is a huge day. I've got Uber in the book. I've got Palantir exposure in the book through short puts. They're all in that top 10. So let's see if there's any losers. It is... Diageo getting spanked. So the Americans have come in to sell Diageo. What price is that now?
Well, it's not far off where it was on the Open, but yeah, I mean, it's the price is £16.27. And I'm going to cover some of my QQQ short. I've got 5,000 shares short. I'm going to buy back 2,000 shares so that I'm a little bit less hedged and leaving it at that. The book's very long, so just keep that in consideration.
And I am running long as well, actually, so that's maybe a warning signal to us both. Right.
Yeah, this is terrifying.
What's going down today? Well, guess what? It's the defensives. That's a very bullish sign as well. You got AT&T telcos, Coca-Cola, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, McDonald's, and they are the bottom of the leaderboard today. So the loser board, let's call it. So that's what you want to see on a day when you're going to get money coming back into this market. Broadcom up 3%, and Oracle's actually managed to hold it.
That's nice. I mean, listen, it's the Open, so it's I don't even bother looking. I mean, after the first 15 minutes at the very least is not something you want to be hanging your hat on. Although, you know, always interesting to talk about. Interesting to note that SanDisk is down, Micron is up. So that obviously people yesterday, and obviously SanDisk was down 5% yesterday. So people are listening to that report because before that it was only one direction, and that was up. DraftKings, can we just look at this? I just need to get this up on my screen.
But with the options now opening, we have jumped. Yes, we are now up 3% on the book for the year. We started in the middle of January, so we've been going for about 6 weeks now. And for the first time, we're actually up a decent whack. We've been down 4%, but now overall, that's us just hit 103,000, having started at 100,000 of capital. So we're up 3% in a month.
Not bad. I mean, we should be doing better, but I mean, it's all about having some direction, right? And having some conviction. And quite frankly, this market hasn't provided either of those things. So unless of course you're just sitting in a biotech or a metals ETF, but I think we might have a moment here. But I'm not getting overly excited, mate. I mean, this market is dodgy as you know what, and anything can happen. I'll tell you what interesting.
Terrible.
Sorry?
Microsoft is still terrible.
Yeah, Microsoft sucks. But then again, Microsoft is, you know, the only one I really care about in this software space is Oracle, because as I've told everyone about 4 million times, it's not really a software company anymore. And that's why I like them. I don't really like software that much, but it's oversold. But it's Oracle that I'm focused on.
Yeah. Right, DraftKings. Tell me this idea.
Well, let's talk about it, shall we? Where are we? So it's flat on the day. Listen, these guys. Should we just quickly talk about it for those? Some people don't even know what this company does. These guys are number 1 and 2 with FanDuel, which is owned by Flutter, which is a UK-listed company, but they moved their major listing to the US because that's the smarter thing to do if you want your stock to go up, until recently. These guys are battling it out for market share in the sports betting online gambling business, which of course was only made legal a couple of years ago in the United States, state by state. Mm-hmm. The United Kingdom has obviously been neck deep in gambling for a very long time, but in the US, this is a new thing. And DraftKings have Michael Jordan on the board. They're very aggressive in marketing and advertising. You'll see them everywhere across golf, across every sort of sport. They're pure online gambling. They don't have physical bricks and mortar stores like Flutter, for example, who have some old school betting shops. But the competition has heated up. Some of the regulatory situations in some states have changed a little bit. The stock went from 10 to 50, and now it's back to wherever we are now, 22. I know it very well, and I've just been watching and watching and watching. Price action's been shocking. Numbers were kind of okay, but what I like about it is this. They're obviously big, and they're going to be taking a pretty decent share of the prediction market business. And the prediction market business is something that I want to try and get a piece of because it's growing really fast.
So are they already in it?
Well, they've said that it's going to be, what they said on their conference call the other day is that they're just literally starting the business now, but they said that they see this as a major growth opportunity for them.
Right, because Sparkle's on the chat saying, aren't you concerned about Kalshi and Polymarket? They've already got...
Yeah, they've got a big share of it, right? Correct. But I wouldn't count. DraftKings are a big, real player in this game, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them weasel their way in to take a bit of share. Even if you don't account for that, the stock is, trading probably about $10 lower than where it should be. And it's kind of de-risked a lot given where it's trading. So I'm just easing into a gentle position there. I bought one clip yesterday, probably got one more to do. But that's the story there.
I agree with you. The analysts are saying that the price target of $34 is $12 higher than where it's trading at the moment. Morgan Stanley, huge upside, it says, with a $40 target, so almost 80% upside. We've got Deutsche Bank Think 26, and who else is in there? Where's the big JP Morgan up 43%, analyst price target of $32. So yes, 24 analysts agree with you out of 29 ratings, not a single sell on the board. Why has it been so terrible? Why has it dropped from 35 to 22 this year?
Because the growth has slowed down quite dramatically and the competition has increased, and FanDuel have been doing a very good job as well. So, that all needs to be taken into account. But having said that, let's just go through these numbers quickly, shall we? So DraftKings, here we go. Oh, this is good. Right, so DraftKings what's the growth for DraftKings? So they're still growing at 15%. That is a decent clip of growth. And for that, you are paying, 1 second, and I will get that answer for you.
What was the percentage, sorry?
So they're growing at 15% top line, which is it's a decent clip of growth. And for some reason, that's not loading the price to sales ratio. But these guys have got a cash balance sheet, which is pretty decent. The thing with these guys is that and all these sports betting guys, is that they were very high growth and they needed to get to profitability, and they did turn a profit. Mm-hmm. And then they kind of chopped in and out of profitability. Right. And that is a problem in a market that's only buying, we've been talking about it for ages now, right? Anyone who doesn't turn a profit is having a tough time. Yeah. And that's the thing. So it requires a risk-on tape. It requires a growthy tape, which is not really the tape we're in right now. Mm. But then that's why I've been watching it and haven't touched it. So I just bought a clip of it just to let it sit there because I do think it's too low. That's the thing I worry about is that chart is crap. Novo Nordisk's crap. PayPal chart. Yeah, no, they're not good charts, that's for sure. Yeah.
Do you buy anything that goes up?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you buy anything?
Well, I've got. Not really. I mean, well, yeah, actually, I just bought the biotech ETF, the metals ETF. I've got the. What else did I buy at the top? I've got copper's not at the top, but it's just had a massive rally. So yeah, I mean, listen, that's why I'm happy I've got this macro book, because I can represent some of my other bigger themes through that. So yeah. I've just bought metals and mining. Right,
let's get that up. This isn't the one that you've bought, but the BlackRock World Mining Trust is a good example. So that certainly looks like a chart of a.
What's that one? Sorry.
It's the World Mining Trust. It's
there we go.
All the
I mean, it's probably not far off the XME chart, right? Moderna, look at that. God, I mean,
let's have a look at XME.
Moderna's a great example of why I like to buy stocks that I hated. This is up 120% in the last 3 months.
But is XME just American stocks?
XME is US listed mining companies.
Yeah. Yep. So that won't really get the best mining companies, right? That's the Freeports and stuff like that. You want a global.
Well, it depends what you mean, but yeah, I mean, listen, there's lots of good mining companies in there, but yeah, if you want Rio Tinto and BHP, don't buy XME. But listen, the point is this. Yes, I'm conscious of the fact that I'm not chasing momentum in my portfolio at the moment. But then again, I've just set up this macro book where I am chasing momentum in biotech and metals and copper and all these things that ultimately everyone. Listen, there was a report out this morning which I thought was quite interesting, and it's just a good reminder of how this market really works, and that it was just sensible. It's just, so listen, you've got two options as a fund manager right now. You can either chase the momentum with your eyes closed, or you can just sit, or you can hedge your book, or you can just sit and wait, or you can try and fight it, of course, and try and buy the, and which is, I'm doing kind of a mix of both, really, to be honest with you. But like fund managers who are managing big piles of money and have to allocate hundreds of millions of dollars. And sadly, this is the way it works, right? It's actually not that intelligent if you think about it. They're just like, right, we're shorting software and we're going long picks and shovels. And because that's what everyone else is doing, and that's what momentum's doing, and that's what machines are doing. And it's probably, it's working. But if you're trying to think ahead sort of a little bit and trying to, create some alpha outside of just what the algorithms are doing, it's tricky.
Yeah, it's very hard just now.
But that's why I'm happy I've done this macro book, because I've just satisfied, I've scratched that itch. I've got metals and mining, I've got copper, and I've got healthcare and IBB. So that's kind of working along nicely on the side. And at least I can, know that that's happening whilst I've got some of these battleground stuff going on.
Right, we've got about 18 minutes left. Do you want a 1 minute break, or shall we go dive into NVIDIA?
1 minute break, because my wife just called me, and she very rarely calls me during the day, so I might have to take that call.
We'll see you in 1 minute. Welcome back. So we'll go straight to the poll result.
You least like to listen to for 107 minutes. That's so good.
You've done well. You got a silver medal. Who would you least like to listen to for 107 minutes? Of course, that's how long the State of the Union address went on from Trump last night. And he wins it. 41% of you would rather do a lot of other things for 107 minutes rather than listen to the Donald. But Piers.
Not far behind.
Not far behind. A third of you. I mean, why you're on here for 60 minutes?
Brutal.
Yeah. But at least it tells us that the show length is about right.
Yeah. Thank God.
16, we're done. So, big night tonight. It is, of course, NVIDIA. I've got up the 3-month chart of since the last time we saw results. And we were around, I think it's this day here. So we were at pretty much the same level, actually. And the stock was down 3% the next day, down to 180. So yeah, not sure exactly where it is, but one of those around there. Well, it was November, so it must be this one. Yeah, there we go. Down 3% it was the day after results. How do we feel about Nvidia going into today's numbers? It's rallied from 180 to 194. Where do we sit?
I just think that the expectations, even though the stock's been off the boil, which probably might work in its favour a little bit, are still very high.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Is positioning high?
I think so. I think the positioning is less high than it. Listen, this is not going into the report hot, which it normally does, right? So this is quite an unusual quarter if you take the last couple of years, right? I mean, I can't remember the last time we went into a Nvidia report with it being so far off the boil. It's creeping up now. Listen, I would not bet against them having a good report tonight.
Yeah.
Betting against them doing that's insanity. Especially betting against what Jensen's going to say on the conference call. We all know that demand is strong, guys. We literally know that because their customers have just told us that they're doubling their capex. So there's no question, unless something very, very, very strange happens, their numbers are going to be really good.
No,
we know they're going to be
within a band very well.
Yeah.
So what numbers are we talking about then? We're talking about revenues up to 66 billion from 57 in the last quarter. Astronomical 9 billion increase quarter on quarter. That is just bonkers.
Yeah.
And then, scarily, guess what the guidance is for next quarter?
Yeah, it's 50 something or other growth, right?
So what do you think the guidance could be?
I don't have the number. What's the number? I don't have it in front of me.
75.
Yeah.
He's talking about
so
going
aggressive.
from 66. Now, the chances
Well, that makes
are
sense if you think about what the customers have just said to us, right?
Yeah, but just the stock having been flatlining for 6 months, right? Yet sales in one half are going to have gone from 57 to 77.
Yeah. Listen, the numbers that come from Nvidia are, I mean, yes, it should be higher, but the markets also, you need to take into consideration the other side of this coin. These guys, in terms of they're a picks and shovels name. They're the original picks and shovel name, but they pivoted quite aggressively to becoming a capex play as well. So this is a 50-50 story. He can tell us everything you just said, which is incredible, but then he can go on the call and say, we're increasing capex by 25% to $600 billion over the next 5 years. And the market might go, hang on a sec, we don't like that very much because we didn't like it when the other three said it.
Yeah.
So that's the problem. Well, if you want to call it a problem, that's the risk tonight. The risk is that they ramp capex aggressively and the market doesn't love it very much. I don't see too much risk with them giving us bad numbers in terms of what they're receiving.
The margins look good as well. So the gross margin expected tonight at 75%. So if he comes in, if we just get that back up, please, guys. If the gross margin comes in at 75, the revenue at 67, I'm going to say he always beats by a billion, 1.5 billion. So 67 billion. EPS, I reckon 150, 151, 152, something like that. If you're talking about an uplift from 67 billion to 75 billion, right, then your EPS is going to go from 150 to 170, potentially.
Yep.
A 170 run rate on EPS gives us $6.80, right? So I'm looking at a 2027 worst case EPS of $6.80.
Yep.
The stock is 194. Divide that by 680 and I'm on 28.5 times earnings.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Sorry, that you're going forward.
But, yeah, 2027. So tonight 2026 ends.
28 times earnings, and with what's the earnings? 28 times earnings with about approximately 55% revenue growth.
Yeah.
So it depends. It depends. It depends because this subject is so subjective. I mean, if you apply the Palantir rationale, which you're trying to argue to me was cheap.
No, but
it's way too low.
No, but it's far further into the cycle, though.
But then again, these guys are a massive AI capex play, and that is the unknown as to what the market will say and think about that.
Right.
They
So
liked Meta.
You're saying it's at peak, potential peak revenues in the next 2 years, because the capex drops and therefore Nvidia revenues actually drop. So you don't continue to see growth. So 28.5 is actually high enough.
Correct. Listen, I think we're getting very close to peak capex.
Yeah. So which is peak revenues for Nvidia?
Exactly what you just said, which means how much longer are we going to keep paying these multiples for Nvidia? Because these guys are a capex. If you take away the fact, if the other guys slow down their capex and Nvidia keeps spending their capex, because these guys are a different picks and shovels name. These guys aren't Lam Research. Lam Research are not spending any money.
They're not giving shareholders back.
They're just receiving money. Nvidia are spending a fortune. Now, they're very clever and they've got all these circular funding deals and it's all very sexy. But I have said for months, and I'll continue to say it, I don't see the point in being long Nvidia. Why not? It's happened. We've done that. I mean, unless they're going to pivot to something new that I don't know about. Maybe they are. Maybe they're going to take over the CPU business, which they said they're going to do, and take market share. They're a very, very, very good company. I'm not going to bet against them. But I just think there's other areas that are accelerating in growth versus these guys that are not accelerating in growth.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised tonight. I don't
Excuse me.
much of a pipe dream to imagine that the guidance he puts out tonight for Q1 could potentially be the highest quarter. Q1, Q2 of next year could be peak revenues for Nvidia.
Yeah.
Therefore, if the stock goes up tonight, right, let's say we go in at 194, I don't know what the expected move is, probably 6%, do you reckon, on options implied move?
I haven't seen it, but I would, if I was to guess, I would say it was 6 or 7.
6, 7?
6, 7.
So 7% add 14 to 194.
7. I've got to stop saying that, man.
208. So if it gets to $208 tonight, what are you doing?
If it gets to where? Sorry, $208. Listen, I just sorry, my eyes glaze over on the subject of Nvidia because, like, do you remember last quarter you argued with me about why you wouldn't buy it and then it collapsed? I just don't want to trade it at all until I get way into tomorrow. Unless there's something very obvious, unless it goes up 10% on earnings, prints, and then he says something on the call that reminds us that the capex is getting overboard, and then it's a nice little sell trade. That's the only thing I would do. Otherwise, I just want to wait until we hear Jensen's 1 hour, which goes from 10 p.m. UK time to 11 p.m. UK time. So most people are asleep by the time you really know what's going on. Wake up in the morning and then figure it out.
About 107 minutes.
Oh dear, well, I'm so sad you didn't put your name in there. By the way, I'm really disappointed with these numbers, but your name would have been what? 83%, yeah. Brutal, guys, brutal.
All right, so you're not going to give me an answer. Nvidia.
I'm not, because I don't have to give you an answer either.
9:43 p.m. tonight. Nvidia's trading at $208. That's my prediction.
Okay, cool, great. But I'm not taking a sort of a bet into them, though, shall we say?
So no position.
No position at all, because there's nothing like. The moment when I would have more of a position is if it had rallied really aggressively into it or sold off really aggressively into it. It's done nothing. It's completely in the middle of the road. So it's 7% up, 7% down. If I had a gun to my head, I would say that was 7% up. But I don't have a gun to my head, so that's it.
We can soon sort that out.
You could probably sort it out.
Oh, I tell you what, the P&L just absolutely kicked forward. We are now up nearly 100 and we're up nearly 4,000. So something is working here. The Nasdaq is really starting to move. Oracle,
it's motoring, mate.
151, having traded 138 yesterday.
Go on, Oracle.
The software ETF that we added yesterday, we have now made $270 on.
Good.
Uber is starting to work. Robinhood Not really. PayPal 48.06. Yeah, what's
Early days though. We'll see what the afternoon session looks like. Interesting. Have you noticed that?
Netflix has given us a lot.
Have you noticed, everyone, that today is so my ETFs? What have we got here? My oil ETF, which I'm short, is I'm short physical oil actually, so that's working nicely. And imagine because Iran have said to us. By the way, if Iran goes away, oil is going down.
Well, let's talk about that. So the chances of it happening this weekend seem to be gathering steam.
Chances of it
An attack
kicking
on
off.
Iran. Yeah.
Depends on what you on what news sources you read.
Low-key
Though, right?
attack.
Yeah, I mean, I've read mixed reports from, and you've got to bearing in mind that Iran has got completely different. Like you've got the Ayatollah, and then you've got the government, or there's three different people that the messaging can come from.
Yeah.
And they all say completely different things. So I listen, it's just one big hot mess. But I don't know. I don't know. I think it's sort of kind of speculation. Look at Oracle, by the way. It's almost up 4%. Giddy up.
About time.
Giddy up, pony.
At last, I tell you what, it's taken us a month, but we at last seem to be gathering some momentum in this P&L. What should we do at that time? Because I'm long in my book, most definitely. You're long in your book. Should we be sensible and hedge some of this going into tonight, which is a big number?
Peter McElroy talking about Diageo top up down 16%. It's worth I might do it. Well, how much time have we got?
16
I've got time. And I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till the close, and I might buy another clip on the close only because this is proper. In fact, do you know what? That's washout price action. So, but I don't need to. We don't need to buy it today.
One thing here, right? I don't normally pat myself in the back, but that's how I got a sore wrist.
Endlessly do that. But
we have talked about since we started the show a month ago that he's going to come in and kitchen sink the numbers. How was this not obvious he was going to do it today? Well, we've talked about it for 6 weeks.
Hey, whoa. We did talk. You've just said at the beginning of the show, not as often when you have a kitchen sinking, the stock goes up. So we got the kitchen sinking,
but it went
right?
up before because everybody started talking about it positively.
Did you short the stock yesterday? Otherwise, this is a silly conversation. Otherwise,
we sat here 24 hours.
I heard what you said, and you said you're getting out. Correct, and I said to you that I'm going to hold my small position, which is 1/3 of a full position, and I'll ease into it. I'll take the. Today was more aggressive than I'd anticipated. I was anticipating about 5 or 6%. I wasn't anticipating him cutting the dividend as much as he did.
Right.
But listen, this is
wrong.
Sorry.
Is it wrong?
I just think it's the wrong. I think that this is the income funds being forced to sell it.
Agreed.
And therefore that's got a lot to do with it. And when we wake up tomorrow, I'm excited by it. I just don't care that much about today. I've got 2 more clips to buy, and I'm going to buy them, one tomorrow, and what day is it today? And maybe one on Friday. And then I'm just going to sit there knowing that I'm buying, I've got a really first-class guy at the helm, and he's thrown every bit of bad news at the market that he can possibly think of. So that's the way I think. That's the way I'm dealing with it.
If anybody is in any doubt of when there is a long fund seller in the market, just reloading. What generally happens if you're a market maker, a sales trader sends you down an order of $20 million. You got that 20, you work 15% of volume, or more aggressively 25% of volume. So for every 100 shares that go through, you've got to sell 25 shares, right? That happens, and you're selling. You're obviously drying up all the buying. There's another seller in the market alongside you, so you just keep taking it lower. You say to your sales trader, I'm having an effect on this stock. Do you want me to hold off? No, keep on going. He's got much more behind it. When you hear the words, he's got much more behind it. You know it's 100 million ticket, right? And you're going to keep on going all day. And so when you get to 230 and you've been selling all day, some people think there might be an uptick. Then another seller comes into the market from America and smashes it again. That's why you saw this big move from while we've been on air, you've seen a 60p drop alone.
I'm buying 10,000 shares in Diageo, by the way.
And now, when it gets that smash down, that is when the sales trader goes, put Diageo on hold for 10 minutes, see how it settles, right? And that's why you take your sell order out the market, and that's the move up that we're seeing.
Correct, and well explained, and that's what's going on. It's aggressive, and it's a lovely washout price action, and I've been watching it, and I'm buying one more clip. I could have bought it 15 minutes ago, almost 4% lower, but I'd prefer to wait to see that washout kind of complete itself.
Anything else until we are back on air next Tuesday?
Yeah.
Anything else to keep our eye on?
Till next Tuesday, not to keep. I think we've covered really nicely what's going on. Actually, quite frankly, I think the best. It'd be easier to answer that question after tonight.
Ethereum up 7%.
That's what's really. That's the answer to the question. I just think that this Bitcoin crypto situation may well just sneak up on us a little bit.
Strategy was an easy one for the.
Did we buy it?
No, I looked at it.
Didn't like that. Well, you don't like the ones that go up. Got it. No, but listen, that's the wild card of this market, right? I mean, how battered has this been?
Absolutely.
This whole space.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of wild.
Good stuff. Right, that's us. 3:01 p.m. We're having a great day here. Is it going to continue? The book is long. I'm definitely.
Look at Oracle. Oracle finally up she goes.
Peter
That
Eaton
will take
also
that.
joining you, buying some Diageo.
Go son.
£16. So it's going to be really.
It's a great day. Listen, it's a great day to have a balanced, well-positioned, sized book. I haven't looked at the P&L in my book today, but I'm excited when I do because I'm pretty certain that even though I cut some QQQ. I know you don't like me talking my own game. But
Software really kicking on.
look at it, mate. It's beautiful.
I think we might have bought the lows.
Go on, son. What's that?
We might have got the lows yesterday.
We nailed. That is a trade, by the way, and that's why you always get annoyed with me. And this is why Rich is very good at what he does. He's a very, very good trader because he's ultimately hostage to price action, and any good trader is hostage to price action. They change their mind like that because the price action changes. Whereas I'll fight it sometimes and we'll argue about it. But that's why I keep badgering you about it, even if it's bad price action, because it can change like that if you get it right. And that's what just happened.
And on that note, before we go on for 107 minutes.
Yeah, by the way, that's not a good number, 30%. Well, I'm not going to deal with that.
Please like and subscribe to the show. Tell your friends. We look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Have a great week. Peace.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for tuning in once again. Just bought Diageo. The one, son.